Hey everybody, John Huber here, Maryland K-12. Like I mentioned this morning, I'm looking at this article that just came out in the Baltimore Banner talking about teacher certification. Like I said when I was out on the beach this morning, on a beautiful pre-spring morning, as I like to call it. Like I said anyway, this is nothing new. There's no surprise. We're lacking certified teachers in Maryland. Of course we are, right? And now everyone's saying, "Oh my God, this is an emergency." This has been going on. This has been going on for decades, and the certification issue started years and years ago, back when No Child Left Behind, because one of the big pieces of that legislation was, and I think this was like 2002, 2004, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, the big piece of that legislation, or one of the big pieces, was what they call highly qualified teachers. And there was all these rules and regulations that by such and such a year, all teachers had to be highly qualified in their content area, et cetera, which is good. There's no question. And it sounds good. But then they started creating all these things that said like 100% of the teachers had to be. And then schools started scrambling to get these teachers qualified. Then they realized that, this is no kidding, it was harder than they thought. So then they came up with all these alternative methods to certification. They can go to a teacher and say, or to anyone, say, "Hey, look, you got a bachelor's degree in, say, biology. Boy, you make a great science teacher. Come with us." Then you could hire that as a teacher, or as a science teacher. They would then have X amount of years to finish the teaching portion of the certification. And then we went through that for years, and then we went through a variety of different types of legislation. And now we realize we have all these teachers that are uncertified. It's like almost 10%, I think. 1 out of every 10 teachers is like conditionally certified. No kidding, right? Because they keep making it harder and harder, and the working conditions, as you know, are suspect at best. There's a lot to be said on that. And as a result, we have a lot of uncertified teachers. When you become a teacher, in order to become a teacher, you have to meet 2 general sets of qualifications. One is you have to meet the qualification that goes along with whatever college or university that you have. 2 is you have to meet the state requirements. Now, most major universities within the state of Maryland are already recognized by most of the jurisdictions. So if you go to, say, Towson University and you get a degree in, say, secondary science education, that program is already recognized by all the jurisdictions in the state that says, if you come out of here, we recognize that program that you've completed. You still have to complete the tests. You still have to complete the state tests and all to become a certified teacher. The second, and that is the second part of those requirements, is the state testing part, where you have to take these variety of batteries of tests to prove what you've learned in college, that you can remember it to take it on another test. Anyway, there's a lot involved, and they cite this one teacher who was a dance instructor in Baltimore. Something is up about that. They're using her as an example. I'm not so sure she's a good example, because they said that this person was there for she has a master's degree in dance education. And the licensure officer for Baltimore City told her she needs 21 credits to be a fully licensed teacher. So that would make me wonder, well, where did that master's degree in dance education come from? It could have come from some school that they didn't recognize. Anyway, it gets a little complicated. And then they're going on about the whole issue of this is the big issue. Teachers are calling in. They're trying to get their credentials straightened out. Nobody calls them back. Oh, you don't say. I will say this, a shout out to the folks at the state of Maryland. Whenever you call them or whenever you send them an email, they get right back to you. So deal with the state, folks. Deal with the state. Don't deal with your individual, because in most cases, the individual county is just going to tell you to go to the state anyway. The state I've had exceptional experience with. So anyway, no surprise that we are short of certified teachers, that there's a problem. No kidding. So what do? They keep making more and more laws. They don't think through to say, well, what happens and how is this going to how is this going to how are we going to enforce this? They start with, yay, everybody needs to be certified. Of course they do, of course. But then they don't say, well, what happens when they don't? How are we going to enforce this? How are we going to follow through on this? And they never think about that. And needless to say, we are right back where we started. So anyway, not a lot of surprise here. I hope this helps. I hope it provokes a little thought. And anyway, we'll say thanks. Have a great day.